For the past few years, Mayor Menino has been trying to get people in Boston to cut back on soft drinks sweetened with sugar. First, there was a ban on soft drinks in the schools, followed by education about drinks from corner stores. More recently, the campaign has been expanding with leadership from the mayor, but also from young people in Mission Hill. And the goal at the neighborhood's youth development agency, Sociedad Latina, is for action by institutions in the Longwood medical area. We'd like to welcome as our guest from Sociedad Latina, the program director, Nicole. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for making time.
First of all, your main goal at Sociedad is to do what's good for kids, teenagers, young adults. Why is this such a big deal for them?
Well, young people are establishing their eating habits. This is the first time we at Sociedad Latina are an organization where we employ youth. So they get a paycheck, and for a lot of them it's their first paycheck. And I'm sure we can remember our first jobs. You want to spend it on, food, sneakers, and of course a lot of it does also go back into the family. But they can first start making their own purchasing decisions. And so we want to make sure that they're being educated on the dangers of sugar-sweetened beverages. The statistics are out there that this has really contributed to the jump in obesity. These calories are completely empty, and so we want to educate them that even though you don't have to eat just lettuce and tomatoes all day long and only drink water, but that this is a really easy way right now to be establishing healthy habits, and that sodas and soft drinks are really useless as far as nutrition and adding calories without any other benefit. Do
you think young people are just unaware of how many calories these drinks have? I mean, through a good part of my life, especially at this age, I was clueless.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially because one of the things that we saw happen consistently, especially a few years ago when this first came out, was vitamin water. You hear vitamin water, well, vitamins are healthy, and so a lot of our young people were saying, oh, so you're right, I shouldn't drink soda, I should drink vitamin water. Because it has the words vitamin and water, and I mean that sounds very healthy, like a great option. And so what we did with our young people was actually not just focus on soda, but focus on sugar-sweetened beverages as a whole. So the Dunkin' Donut Coolada drinks with the whipped cream exploding out of the top, the Arizona iced tea, or obesity as we like to call it, and the Big Bursts also, which are sort of like those little things that used to turn your whole mouth red when you were a kid in summer camp. But now you can get them in like a double or triple size bottle. And they're called Big Bursts, and they sell them in a lot of the corner stores in Boston. And so when you look at all of these, this is what the young people are spending their money on, and they have no idea that these aren't healthy options, or that they don't have, in most cases, anything. Like they don't even have fruit juice in them. There's nothing in them, and they just don't know. So we actually did a map, and it would say, you'd have to walk from here to Downtown Crossing to burn off the calories just in that Big Burst, or you'd have to run from here to here, just so they could start realizing really what was in these drinks.
Now, some people might think the Longwood medical area is this global institution off in its own little orbit, but you go around a lot of these institutions, you will see people from the neighborhoods, they work there, they get care there, so I guess there's a lot of intermingling going on. So I guess it's important what they do?
Yeah, the Longwood medical area is our backyard in Mission Hill, and predominantly when you look at where our young people are going for healthcare and where their families are going for healthcare, Children's Hospital, Brigham and Women's, those are two of the institutions that figure most heavily. And that's true not only just for Mission Hill, but for a large community in Boston. On top of that, they're at the forefront. I mean, we've heard about the transplants that have happened at Brigham and all of the developments that are happening in these institutions. And this is going to be the wave of the next sort of public health movement. There's really no question about it. And we're just sort of working with them to hopefully have them be at that forefront, because we think that this is a big change that our community, the Latino community, needs to make. But also, for the hospitals, it's a great way for them to take that stance, not only for the community members, but for everybody as a whole.
You think that can be persuasive? Obviously, if you can't get a bottle of ginger ale,
then you're going to go out to the food court outside. No, of course. I mean, we're not going to dictate what you can or cannot eat. We're not trying to make sodas illegal. But it's really about raising awareness. Like you said, most people, 5-10 years ago, like putting out some soda out if you have guests was the hospitable thing to do. It was really, the thing that, you bring out the nice drinks for the guests and you offer whoever it is something, nice and sweet to drink. And it's really about changing that mentality. And that's definitely a piece of Latino culture that we see figuring heavily is, having soda as part of a special meal or having some sort of sweetened beverage. And so, you know, having, for example, visible media in the hospitals is one of the other things that we would really like to push for, so that people start understanding, well, how come in this vending machine there's no sodas available? And so start actually, along with just taking the beverages out, we want to educate the community. And that's really what I would say the larger goal is not just to eliminate them, because of course you can go outside the hospital and go to the 7-Eleven and get a soda. But we want to start the conversation as far as this is not a healthy choice for our community, it's not a healthy choice for really anybody who's visiting the hospital. And this is the first step.
And of course, the concern here is not just that people will put on weight while they're young, it's what happens when they get a bit older, and sometimes not even very much older.
No, and it keeps on. One of the things also with sodas, especially when we switched to the high fructose corn syrup is anywhere from 6 to 20 times sweeter than sort of table sugar. And our taste buds have become accustomed to this sweet, sweet, sweet beverage. And so if you're gonna have a meal, you think in your mind, because this is what, you know, our young people and their, you know, children, families are drinking, that I'm not really having this satisfying meal unless I have a sweet beverage. And that's something that we've been conditioned. It's not something that we have to have, but it's something we've gotten used to. And I even myself had to sort of start teaching myself to drink water, because I really like to drink juice, but even that has a lot of calories for not necessarily much nutritional value. And so we can train ourselves to drink water, maybe water with some cucumber or lemon or strawberries. There's different options. And so it's really about setting those healthy habits right now for young people and their families, so that they can get used to the fact that we don't have to have this sweetened beverage, because it's really setting a bad precedent for an entire life.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
From Sociedad Latina, Nicole Davis, and we'll have more news in a moment after this message.